Hello, how y'all doing? Brother Shamar is checking in. For those that are interested in opening their first used car dealership, congratulations. That is a great and beautiful idea. I admire it, and I opened mine not too long ago, so I want to pass these tips on to you. Uh, Number one would be to go get your DBA and your LLC. That's the business name that you'll be operating under. DBA or LLC is totally up to you. Um, you go to the courthouse, you pay probably $15 to $25 for a DBA, just to have a name to operate under, and then you can go to step two. Step two will be to get your surety bond. Your surety bond depends on your state. You have to check the requirements, but for Texas, it's 15,000. I mean, 25,000, and within the past few months they just raised it to 50,000. So no, you don't pay that full amount. Don't get discouraged or nothing. No, you don't pay that full amount. It's a small percentage. It could be like 5%, 10%, and it's also based on credit. So you don't pay the full amount. So you go get your DBA or your LLC is number one. Number two, you go get your surety bond insurance. Number three is you look at for your location. That's the fun part, and also can be a stressful part, because you also have to make sure that as far as zoning, you got to make sure that your city is fine with where you put your dealership at. If you notice, in many areas, dealerships are usually on one street, or it might be in one area. So it's a reason why it's like that for some reason. Um, so once you find the location, I would suggest that you call the your city locals, and have them look up the address and see what you put in the dealership will be okay. That's what I did, and it worked out for me. So number one is get your DBA or LLC. Number two, you go get your surety bond insurance. Number three is find your location. Um, and lock in a 2-year lease agreement, because that's the time span of your dealership license. It lasts up to 2 years in Texas. Like I said, just double check the requirements in your city and state, but I believe it's not too far from that. So that's also something that I will pass on to you. Get you a 2-year lease agreement. Um, and you can lock in a good rate, at the same time. And then number four would be, um, after you get your location, then you go get your signage. That's the billboards that's outside your dealership. I didn't know until, of course, I got on the other side of things, that they require a certain amount of measurements. They want your sign to be a certain size. So you get your sign, the size that they require, and then if you lease your space, like in the business suite, or it might be some garages or something, well, you go get your parking spaces blocked off. In Texas, it's blocking our requirement is to block off 5 parking spaces, and it's a certain way that they want you to do it. Maybe you might put some cement buckets and put some chains to rope around it, and those 5 parking spots. And then you put your sign on your parking spaces just to know that it's reserved for your dealership, and they'll be fine with that. And then after you block off your parking spaces, that's the fourth step. Number five would be, um, uh, you go take your dealer's course. You can take it. It's up to you. You don't have to follow this exact order, but I know the DBA and the LLC is the first two steps. You can make number three, taking your dealer's course, because a lot of the information that I'm giving will be in the dealer's course, and you don't have to waste a bunch of time doing a bunch of research like I did. But research does help, because they go over the information, some of it in detail and some of it is basic, and you got to get with somebody that's in that field to get a better understanding. But so yeah, once you do that dealer's course, Then you ready for number 6, and number 6 would be to get your buying. I think it's your sales tax permit. Once you do that sales tax permit, I believe you good to go. I believe you ready for grand opening at that point. You legal. You got your taxes in order. You got your DBA, your LLC in order. You have your dealer's license because you took the course. You have your 2-year lease agreement, and you have your signage and your parking spaces blocked off. And now all you need is inventory, and that could be for another video of how I do it. So if y'all have any questions, you comment, you like, and you subscribe, and I'm going to keep dropping more content for you. Y'all have a good one. May God bless you on your journey.